I got divorced from my wife after 18 years of marriage. The reason was her affair. When I found out about my wife's affair, I couldn't believe it, and it was quite a shock. But at the same time, I felt it was inevitable. That's because my wife and I were mismatched. My wife, who is the same age as me, is beautiful, capable at her job, and earned more than I did. She must have grown tired of me, who never really get promoted in my career. Especially if I were to get laid off. Many companies are resorting to layoffs in this economy. Turn on the television, and it's all gloomy news. There were talks every week at the company meetings about our difficult financial situation. Yet, I lacked a sense of crisis and felt it was someone else's problem. Then one day, my boss asked me to come to the conference room. What's it about? Did I mess something up? Or is it about starting a new project? Thinking casually like that, I knocked the door at the conference room. My boss pointed to a sofa with an expressionless face and said simply, "Sit there." It was a layoff notice for me. You know our company is struggling, right? Yes. So, we've decided to make significant staff cuts. You're on the list. What? Why me? I don't understand. Why me? I confronted him in a panic. You're young, so you'll have an advantage in finding a new job. Most of our employees are much older. It'll be tough for them to find work now. Just be prepared. Wait a minute, please. The door closed, leaving me behind. I had dedicated myself to this company, never imagining such a turn of events. I couldn't accept it, nor could I agree with it. Why me? I couldn't tell my parents or friends. I also couldn't bring myself to tell my wife, but I couldn't keep quiet forever. When I finally told her about being laid off, her eyes widened in shock. What? We've got bills to pay, so hurry up and find a new job. I can't be the only one bringing in money. She said that sharply. But I couldn't get myself to feel urgent about finding a new job, considering the future. In this economy, losing a job and finding a new one isn't easy. Our savings were dwindling. I knew we, a family of 3, were living off the savings. But it really made me mad to hear my wife say it. We often fought about money. Even after cutting costs by stopping our daughter's lessons and saving on tutoring fees, living was still tough. And that led to more arguments. Our once happy family had gradually become strained. One day, when my wife showed me our bank account, the low balance made me realize things were really bad. I worked part-time jobs while job hunting. I even did day labor, but quit when I couldn't physically keep up. My wife stopped saying anything. Her cold look said it all. One day, during that period of life, on my way home from a part-time job, I unexpectedly ran into a college classmate on the train. "Hey, David, long time no see. How are you?" "Yeah." After chatting, we ended up going for drinks. I didn't want anyone to know my situation. But part of me wanted someone to listen to my story. At the bar, fueled by alcohol, I told him about being laid off. He responded, "Man, that's rough. Everyone's got bills. Hey, you know what? A person at the company we do business with quit because of family care needs. They're hiring right now. I'll introduce you." "Really? Please, I'm desperate," I begged, grasping at straws. It seemed like a glimmer of hope. With that in mind, I headed home from the bar. On the way, I saw a car parked by the road and my wife getting out. Huh? Did someone give her a ride? I was about to approach when a man came out of the driver's seat, put his arm around her waist, and pulled her close. What's this? That night turned into a big fight, and we decided to divorce. I told her I didn't want any money. We had a 17-year-old daughter, Natalie. I thought she would choose my wife, but she decided to stay with me. Honestly, that made me happy. After that, Natalie and I started living together. She never said it, but I knew she was deeply shocked to find out about her mom's affair. Every time I saw her crying alone in her room, saying why did she betray us, I felt an overwhelming sense of guilt for not being a better father. Natalie was doing her best. She was smart and always at the top of her class in school. She must have taken after her mother. As for me, since the divorce, I just couldn't focus on work. The company I was introduced to was fairly well known, and without my friend's help, I would never have been hired there. Fortunately, I managed to get a job at that company. There were many more talented employees there, and I felt out of my league. Then one day, I made a terrible mistake. A shipment from overseas was delayed due to a cargo ship's delay, causing a delay in the delivery to the client. It was a sudden incident, but I knew there was a possibility of it happening, yet I hadn't informed the client beforehand. The client was furious when they found out, and the deal fell through. My boss, Kevin, didn't scold me outright, but he put his hand on my shoulder and said, "I'll have to report this to the boss." That's when I thought I might be fired, and I couldn't focus at work after that. About a month later, I was called in by Kevin. He told me I was being transferred to a branch office in the countryside. It was basically a demotion. I had a feeling it might happen, but it was still a shock. Kevin said, "Don't take it hard. I think you'll do better in that branch. You can work there more freely." All I could say was, "Understood." When I got home, I told Natalie about the demotion. "I'm sorry for being such a useless dad." She said, "Don't say that. You're doing your best. Don't blame yourself." She's such a kind girl. Natalie is turning 18. She's been accepted into a national university in California and will start living alone this spring. So, Natalie and I will be living apart. Since we were apart, we kept in touch occasionally. "Natalie, are you doing well? How's living on your own?" "Yeah, I've gotten quite used to it. I've made a lot of friends at uni, too." "That's good to hear." Hearing her cheerful voice made me feel better too. "How about you, Dad? How's it over there?" "There's a lot of nature here. It's nice." The branch, where I was transferred, turned out to be much better than I expected. Being in the countryside, the air is clean and, more importantly, the people are wonderful. Not just the employees, but everyone in the town is friendly and kind. They greet with a smile. It feels like everyone in the town is family. Since I came here, I've been learning to work at my own pace and gradually getting accustomed to the job. By the end of the first year, I got much better at my work, and the staff started saying, "We're really glad to have you, David." It was fulfilling to feel appreciated and useful. I tried to contact Natalie at least once a month. Or rather, she would regularly call me. "You've changed a lot, Dad. You seem so much more alive now," she told me. Even after starting university, she worked hard and always stayed at the top of her class. She really did well. One day, I casually asked her, "Have you decided on a job yet?" She replied mischievously, "I have, but I'm not telling you yet." Though I was quite curious, I just said, "Okay," and didn't press further. After that, I worked hard at the branch office. Gradually, I started getting results. And incredibly, 2 years after being transferred, I was appointed as a deputy branch manager. When I told Natalie over the phone, she was as happy as if it were her own achievement. When she was in her 4th year of college, she shared some news. She had got a job. When I said, "Congratulations," she giggled over the phone. "Is something funny? You'll understand soon," she laughed. A few months later, I was told to return to the headquarters. I was a bit surprised, thinking I would stay at the branch. Going back to headquarters meant I could see Natalie. I was about to tell her when she contacted me. Unusually, we did a video call that day. "You're coming back, right? It'll be nice to see you after so long," she said right off the bat. Huh? How did she know? Out of curiosity, I asked her why she knew, and she said something unclear like, "I knew it from hearing Dad's voice." We chatted about trivial things, and finally, she said, "I'll be waiting for you here." I replied with a smile. Yeah, wait for me. A month after that call, I returned to the headquarters. It was sad to leave the branch office colleagues and the friendly neighbors who had been so kind to me. Everyone said warmly, "Come visit us anytime." Divorce, layoffs, job changes, and demotion. A lot had happened in a short period, but my time here had refreshed me. I truly felt that being demoted turned a good thing. Then, I boarded the express train and headed to the headquarters. That was a long journey. As I arrived in front of the company and took a moment to rest, my cell phone rang. It was from the company. Were they worried because I was late? Hello, hello. As soon as I answered the phone, I heard a young woman's voice on the other end. Hello, welcome back. There's something to hand over to you. Could you please stop by the reception? She said. Was it someone from HR? The voice sounded familiar, but I couldn't recognize who it was. And what could the reception possibly have to give me? Full of questions, I headed to the reception anyway. There was a young woman sitting there. She looked down, and her face was not visible. "Good afternoon. I'm David. I received a call from you just now," I said to her. Then she looked up, smiling broadly, and said, "Welcome back." At that moment, "What?" I exclaimed in surprise. It was Natalie sitting in front of me. Her name tag read Natalie Brooks. Astonished, I watched as she giggled and said, "I've been working here since this spring." Come to think of it, I hadn't asked her which company she had decided to work for. I never imagined it would be my company. And then she handed me a bouquet of flowers. There was a card with a message, "Welcome back. Looking forward to working with you." What's this, Natalie? I felt an overwhelming sense of happiness. Then Kevin also appeared. "Working at the same company with your daughter. That's enviable," he said with a smile. "Welcome back. We're counting on you here." I bowed and replied, "Thank you. I'm looking forward to it too." That evening, I decided to go out for dinner with Natalie, who I hadn't seen in a while. After sitting down and toasting, I asked, "Why did you choose this company? You could have got a better one, couldn't you?" She laughed and replied, "Well, I was worried about you, Dad. I thought I needed to be by your side." "Is that so?" I said, laughing along, and then she continued. "When I went for the interview, Kevin was the interviewer. He recognized me as your daughter right away. He said that you are a very hard-working person." I also learned this from her story. Kevin didn't intend to demote me. He sent me to the countryside branch, meaning for me to take a little break and enjoy the relaxed rural life. At that time, with all that had happened, he thought the countryside branch was a better fit for me. It was his way of being kind. Natalie said, "With such a kind boss, I thought I could work here with peace of mind. That's why I chose this company," smiling. Then, a bit shyly, she added, "Well, the main reason was that I wanted to work at the same company as you." What a sweet daughter. She started working as a receptionist at the headquarters, and her beauty quickly made her popular among the male colleagues. As a father, I'm a bit worried, but she's truly a daughter to be proud of. Thanks to my accomplishments at the branch, I'm now doing well at work. From now on, I plan to work hard alongside my proud daughter.